Liam Carter lived alone in a silent world above Mars. His station floated just beyond the red planet, surrounded by black space. No cities, no voices, no one to bother him. He liked it that way. He built machines, fixed satellites, and talked only to his AI assistant. Life was quiet, clean, and controlled, until one night, something strange entered his sky. A bright object shot across the stars. Not like a meteor, it moved too smooth, too fast, and then suddenly slowed down. Liam saw it through the dome window. It didn't crash, it landed. And not far from his station. Liam grabbed his scanner, opened the outer doors, and stepped into the red dust outside. The ship was small, black, and sharp like a blade. No markings, no sound. Cold as death, his scanner picked up no heat, no life. Signs, but the ship's door was open. Smoke drifted out. He moved closer. Inside he found her. A woman lay still on the floor, dressed in a silver combat suit. Her hair was dark, skin a light silver blue, like moonlight. She had no helmet, no gear, only a blade attached to her arm. Liam stared. She was beautiful, but strange, not human. Not fully. He touched her shoulder. Her eyes snapped open. In a second, the blade on her arm came to life. She jumped up and slammed him against the wall, blade at his throat. Her voice was cold, steady, not angry, but focused. You are the target. You must die. Liam froze. The blade pressed gently on his neck. One move and he would bleed. But then she stopped. Her hand shook. Her eyes changed, just a little. Something flickered. Confusion. Her grip loosened. She looked at his face, really looked, and then stepped back. She whispered, "They lied to me," and collapsed. Liam stood there, heart pounding. He didn't know who she was or what she meant, but he couldn't leave her out here. He lifted her and brought her back to the station. She was heavy, stronger than she looked, like holding a machine wrapped in skin. Inside, he placed her on the medical bed. His eye asked, "Should I call security?" He said no. He didn't know why. Maybe it was her face. Not just beauty, but something else. Sadness. As she slept, Liam scanned her vitals. Her biology was strange, part human, part something else. Her body temperature was lower, her heart faster, her cells moved like liquid metal. No known species matched. Hours passed. Then she woke again. She didn't attack. Instead, she sat up slowly, watched him from across the room. Eyes calm now but alert. Liam raised his hands. "I'm not your enemy." She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Your name is Liam Carter." He nodded, nervous. "Yes." "And you are?" She stared at the floor. "I don't have a name." "Only a code." "What code?" "Z41. Liam frowned. "That's not a name. I wasn't made to have one." He sat down across from her. "What were you made for?" She looked up. "To kill you." Silence filled the room. Not fear, something deeper, the weight of truth. "Why me?" Liam asked. She hesitated. "Because you built something dangerous. An AI, one that could threaten the Zarvik Empire." Liam blinked. "That's not possible. My AI is peaceful, basic. It helps fix satellites, that's all." She shook her head. "Not anymore. The Empire believes your work could start a war. They sent me to stop you before that happens." Liam laughed, a little nervous. "And yet I'm still alive. Why?" She didn't speak. Her eyes narrowed. She seemed to fight a battle inside her mind. Then she said quietly, "Because I saw you. I watched you, and you didn't look like a threat. You were spying on me? For weeks." He stood surprised. "So you've been nearby this whole time?" She nodded. "In orbit, watching, studying. But then, something changed. I saw you talk to a bird that landed on your window. I saw you help a broken drone fly again. You smiled when no one was around. You were kind." He didn't know what to say. She looked confused, angry at herself. "I wasn't trained to feel." I wasn't built for doubt. But something happened. Something broke inside me. Liam took a slow breath. Maybe it wasn't a break. Maybe it was a beginning. Before she could answer, the station lights flickered. A message flashed on the screen. Incoming transmission. From Zarvak Command. She stood up fast. Her eyes wide. They know I failed. What happens now? Liam asked. She looked at him with something new. Not cold, not deadly. Almost protective. They will send another. And next time it won't hesitate. Liam stepped closer. Then we prepare together. She didn't answer, but she didn't say no. She stood on the edge of the Martian cliff, high above Liam's outpost. Her name wasn't real, just a code burned into her neck. Z41. The cold wind didn't bother her. She had survived darker places, war zones, black voids, fire tests. Her body was a weapon, trained by the Zarvak Empire. Her mind? Programmed like a machine. No feelings, no fear, no mercy, but now something inside her was shaking below her. Liam was working on a satellite panel, wiping dust from the glass with care. His movements were calm, focused. Human. She had watched him for weeks, through cameras, drones, even from orbit. She studied him like a hunter watches prey. But he never acted like a threat. No army, no weapons. Just kindness, he sang to himself while working. He fed a robotic cat he had built from spare parts. He talked to machines like they were alive. This was not the monster the Empire had warned her about. Still, her mission was clear. Kill Liam Carter before he creates the AI that could destroy them all. And yet, every time she got close, something stopped her. Her hand froze. Her heart raced. She felt wrong. Back in the outpost, Liam looked up and saw her on the ridge. He waved. She didn't wave back. She came down slowly, quiet, graceful like a shadow inside the station. He poured 2 cups of synthetic coffee. He smiled and pushed one toward her. I know you don't eat much, but maybe try? She stared at the cup. He had done it every day since she arrived. She never drank it, but today, she took it. The cup was warm. The scent was strange. Bitter but soft. She took a sip and something inside her chest moved. I read about this, she said, voice quiet. Warm drinks are for comfort. Liam nodded. And comfort is for people who feel things. She looked at him. That's dangerous. For someone like me, he shrugged. Maybe it's what saves you instead. She said nothing, but her grip on the cup tightened. Later Liam showed her his lab, a place filled with glowing cores, half-built bots, and sketches of future machines. This is the AI they're afraid of? She asked. He nodded. I'm building an AI that can think for itself, but also feel, not just logic, but empathy, real emotions. The kind that stops a machine from becoming a killer. She froze at that word, killer. You think emotions can protect the future? She asked. I think emotion is what makes the future worth protecting. They stood in silence. She didn't realize her hand had moved toward his, until their fingers touched. A spark ran through her. Not pain, not fear, something warm, something real. Her cum device buzzed in her neck. She stepped away. She walked to the corner and opened the message in her eye display. Z41. You have failed. Terminate the human now, or a new hunter will be sent, and both of you will die. Her hands trembled. She closed the message. She looked at Liam. He was adjusting a damaged drone. Unaware of the warning, she saw the future in that moment. If she let him live, the Empire would come for both of them. If she killed him now, she would survive. But something inside her screamed no. That night, she walked to Liam's room. He was sitting by the window, watching the stars. She sat beside him. He didn't speak. He waited. Finally she said, I was sent to kill you because the Empire fears what you're building, but now I fear them more than you. Liam looked at her. So what now? I don't know, she said. They're sending someone stronger, more deadly, more cold than I ever was. We'll run then, Liam said, or fight if we must. She looked at him, truly looked. You would fight your own end? Just to protect me? He smiled. I don't know what you are yet, but I know what you're not. You're not a killer anymore. She lowered her eyes. Then I need a name, a real one, not a code. Liam thought for a moment. How about Nova? She smiled for the first time. Nova, she whispered. Born from a star ready to burn back. The lights flickered again this time. It wasn't a power cut, it was a signal high above the planet. Something huge had entered the solar system, another. Ship bigger, faster. Liam's scanner beeped a known vessel inbound trajectory. Earth orbit to Mars approach, ETA. 36 hours. Nova stepped forward. They didn't believe I'd fail. Now they're sending him. Who? Liam asked. Her voice was cold again. Z-19, the original hunter, the one who trained me. Liam stood still. She turned to him. Eyes sharp but steady. We have one day to prepare or one day to say goodbye. He reached for her hand again, but this time, she reached back first. The warning came with silence, no explosions, no sirens. Just a thin red line blinking on Liam's screen, unidentified ship approaching Mars perimeter. At 1 hours, Liam stared at the message. Nova stood behind him, arms crossed, face like stone. He's early. She said. Liam turned. Z-19? She nodded once. He doesn't wait, he doesn't talk, he finishes what others couldn't. Outside the station, the red Martian wind howled against the dome inside. The air felt colder than space. Liam watched. Nova paced the room. She didn't look afraid, but something in her steps had changed. Less sharp, less steady. You fought him before? Liam asked. No. She said, I trained under him for 6 years. He's faster than me. Stronger, more precise. I was built as his replacement, but I never beat him in any trial. Liam stood beside her. But he's never fought you with a reason to live, eh? Of us. Nova looked up. That line hit her harder than any weapon in the Empire. She had survived because she didn't care if she died now. For the first time she did. The next few hours moved fastly and sealed the outpost's lower levels. Built defense bots from old mining rigs. And coated a temporary shield from leftover satellite cores. Nova updated her combat suit. Replaced her broken arm blade. And downloaded new reflex modules into her neural core. They barely spoke, but their silence was full of meaning every time their eyes met. It said, we may not survive this, but we'll survive it together. At hour 12. The ship entered Mars orbit. It didn't send a signal. It didn't try to hide. Z-19 wanted them to know he had arrived. Liam watched the ship through a telescope. It was shaped like a spear, black, no lights, no mercy. Nova walked in quietly. His ship's name is Silence. That's how he leaves his targets. Dead quiet, forgotten. Liam took a breath. Not this time, not here. He handed her a device. This is linked to my AI core. If I fall, you press this, and the AI will self-delete. They'll never get it. She looked at him. You're planning to die? He shook his head. I'm planning to protect you. If that means dying, I'll do it without blinking. Nova stared at him like he had spoken a language she never heard, a language made of heartbeats instead of commands. She took the device and clipped it to her belt. I'll make sure you don't have to, she said. The next hour was the longest of Liam's life. They waited by the entrance gate of the outpost, weapons ready, lights low, pulse high. Then everything stopped, even the wind outside. Shadow crossed the dome. Then the door opened. He walked in. Like a ghost made of metals, 7 feet tall. Wrapped in obsidian armor, red eyes glowing, no emotion, no voice. He looked at Liam once, then turned to Nova. You failed, he said in a flat, deep tone. I changed, she replied. That is failure. Maybe, she said, or maybe it's evolution. He didn't answer. He charged. The ground shook with his first step. Nova met him halfway. Their blades clashed like thunder. Sparks flew, walls cracked. The station trembled. Liam tried to shoot from the side, but Z-19 moved faster than any machine Liam had seen. He grabbed the drone gun and crushed it with one hand. Nova screamed, stay back, he's mine. The fight turned brutal. Metal against metal, fist against wall, blade against bone. Nova fought harder than ever before. Not because she was told to, but because she wanted to. Because someone finally made her feel human. But Z-19 was relentless, a perfect killer. A machine with a mission. He knocked her to the ground, raised his blade. Liam ran forward without thinking, threw a broken chair at him. Useless, but enough to distract. 19 turned just enough. Nova moved one strike, straight to his core. The blade slid in. Deep electricity sparked from his armors. 19 froze, his voice low. You hesitated. She leaned close. I chose. Then he collapsed silent, just like his name. Nova stood over his body, breathing hard, bleeding from her arm. Liam ran to her. You all right? She smiled weakly. I think so, but I've never been this tired. Suddenly, her hand touched her stomach, a sharp pain. Her knees buckled. Liam caught her. Nova? She gasped. Something's happening, something inside me. He scanned her body. The readings spiked. Her vitals were strange. Nova looked up at him. Liam, I think I'm pregnant. He froze. Time froze outside the station. The storm began again, but inside that moment, a new storm was already growing. Nova sat in silence on the cold floor of the outpost. Her breathing was slow, but her eyes were full of fear. She had faced death 100 times, fought creatures with claws and fire, broken bones and burned flesh, but this was something she had never been trained for. Inside her, a second heartbeat. Liam sat across from her, holding the scanner, watching numbers shift and dance on the screen. You're sure? He asked. Softly, Nova nodded. I feel it. I'm not human, but something inside me is changing fast. The machine confirmed it. Rapid cell growth, unidentified hybrid DNA. Unstable but alive. Liam stared at the screen, then looked at her. You're pregnant, Nova. With my child. She didn't move. She didn't speak. For someone designed to follow commands. This was a command the universe never gave her. She whispered, this shouldn't be possible. Liam touched her hand. But it is. Outside, the Martian wind blew softly against the dome, like the planet was listening. Nova stood slowly, walked to the window, looked up at the stars. I was made to kill you, not love you, not carry life created with you. Liam stood behind her. Maybe the Empire made your body, but the choices you made, they were yours. That's not programming, Nova. That's you being free. Her eyes filled with something new, not tears. Just light, a small spark. She turned to him. If they find out, they'll send more. They won't. Let this child leave. Liam didn't flinch. Then we protect it, like it's the most important thing in the universe, because maybe it is. She looked at him. You believe that? I know that. They held each other for the first time, truly. Held no fear, no mission, no secrets, just two beings lost in space. Building something no one had planned, but everything seemed to lead to later. That night, Nova sat alone in the eye room. She stared at a reflection on the glass table, her hand on her stomach. She whispered to herself, you're not a mistake. You're not a glitch. You're a beginning. Suddenly the lights flickered again, not just power failure movement. The warning screen turned red. Incoming transmission intercepted, code fragment. Phase 2 initiated, target hybrid. Nova stood quickly, called Liam. He rushed in. The message repeated in red. They had detected the baby, and now they weren't just after Liam. They were after what grew inside her. Liam opened a secure channel to the human resistance base on Europa, but the signal was weak, broken. He shouted into the mic. We need evac, high threat hybrid lifeform at risk. No answer. Nova pulled up planetary maps. We can't stay here, not even underground. If they send a planetary sweeper, we're dust in seconds. Where do we go? Liam asked. There's one place. Nova said, a deep asteroid cave, not on any maps, hidden during the rebellion. Years I trained there once. You think we can reach it in time? We don't have a choice. Liam loaded the last of his core tech into a bag, grabbed energy packs. Nova pulled on a cloak around her armor. One last look around the station. Their home, their beginning, gone. They climbed into Liam's small shuttle. Just before launch, Nova turned to him. If we don't make it, we will. Liam interrupted. She paused. If we don't, I want you to know this child was not born from error. It was born from something real. Liam leaned forward. Love is not a glitch, Nova. It's the only code that rewrites everything. She smiled. Again only for him as the shuttle rose above Mars' surface, engines humming like a lullaby. The stars opened above them like a million eyes watching inside. Nova's body, a future beat like a second heart, but behind them in the dark of orbit, a new ship entered the system different from before, not Zarvakan Nounwitwing. The asteroid cave was silent, cold walls, curved ceilings, black stone untouched for years. Liam lit a small lantern. The blue glow bounced off the rocks like ripples of water. Nova stood near the entrance. Her eyes fixed on the sky above. The stars looked peaceful, but peace was a lie. She felt it in her blood. They were being hunted again inside the cave. Their child was growing fast, too fast. 3 days since they left Mars. Nova's belly had changed. Not just in size, but in energy. She could feel the heartbeat echoing in her bones. Not human, not alien, something more. Liam ran more scans. He checked vitals every hour, wrote down every change, but even he, a master of machines, couldn't explain it. The DNA is rewriting itself, he said quietly, as if the baby is upgrading. Nova didn't respond. Her hand stayed on her stomach, always like a shield, made of love and fear. That night, Liam recorded a message to Earth. If anyone finds this, know that we didn't plan this. We didn't mean to start a war, but this child, it might be a bridge, or it might be the match that burns everything down. The message never sent the signal. Jammed something, or someone was blocking them. Nova felt it first, not with sensors, with instinct. She stood in the cave mouth again, watched the stars shift. There's a third presence, she whispered. Not Zarvak, not human. Liam stepped beside her. How do you know? I don't know how I know. I just feel it, like something breathing behind the stars. The next morning, Nova woke up gasping, her body glowing faint blue, her skin hot. She thought it was a fever, but it was the child. She looked at Liam. It's trying to talk. What do you mean? Not with words, with pulses, thought waves like code inside a dream. Liam took her hand. What's it saying? She closed her eyes. Let the pulses in. It says danger, not just from out there, but from in here. She opened her eyes fast, heart racing. It scared Liam. It knows something's wrong. Before he could speak, a sound echoed through the cave, not loud, not sharp, but deep, like something massive landing above them. Dust fell from the ceiling. Liam grabbed his scanner. His face turned pale. It's not Zarvak, not one of ours either. Then who? Nova asked. A shadow crossed the entrance, a shape unlike any they had seen before, tall, lithe, covered in white armor that shimmered like ice. Its voice entered the cave without moving its mouth. You have created Forbidden's life. Return it or be erased. Liam stood between it and Nova. No one's taking our child. The being stepped forward. Your mistake threatens balance. Across species, across time. Nova held her blade. She's not a mistake, she's hope. She is evolution. The voice said, and evolution always brings death before peace. Suddenly, the creature raised its hand. Energy shot through the cave. Liam flew back, crashed into the wall. Nova charged forward, her body glowing as the child inside her reacted to the threat. For the first time, her blade burned with blue light, a new power coming from within. She fought with speed she never knew she had, matched strike for strike with the unknown being. But it wasn't enough. It knocked her down again, stepped over her, raised its hand for the final blow. Then everything stopped. A pulse shot out from Nova's body, not from her blade, not from her suit, from the child. The creature froze mid-strike, shaking. Its voice cracked for the first time. What is this presence? It turned slowly, looked directly at Nova's stomach, and then it backed away. Without warning, it vanished into the shadows of space. Gone. Silence returned. Nova breathed hard, sweat on her skin, energy fading. Liam ran to her. Are you all right? She looked at him, then down at her stomach, then back at him. I think she protected me. She? Nova nodded. I don't know how I know, but it's a girl. Liam smiled through the fear. She just saved her mother's life and possibly ours. Nova leaned her head on his chest. She's not just a child, Liam. She's a message to the whole galaxy that something new is coming, and they're not ready. He looked toward the sky. "Neither are we," Nova's scream echoed through the asteroid cave. She dropped to her knees, one hand gripping her stomach, the other digging into the ground. Liam ran to her, but he already knew it was time. The baby was coming too soon. Too fast, too dangerous. He scanned her vitals. The child was accelerating. Every second counted. "We're not ready," he whispered. "We need a medical pod. We need power. We need—" Nova gritted her teeth. "We need to survive first." Outside the cave something stirred. Not wind, not rock. Something heavy. Something wrong. The air shifted. The stars above went quiet again. That silence. The same silence that had followed Z-19, only now it felt darker. Liam looked up at the screen. The sensors had gone black, not offline, just empty, as if space itself had stopped watching. Then a signal broke through. A voice. "Neither alien nor human. Something old, something layered. The anomaly is reaching birth. Remove it or everything breaks." Nova forced herself to stand, blood on her lip, fire in her eyes. She shouted into the dark, "Come and take her, then watch what happens." And they did. They came from the shadows. 5 figures entered the cave, each different, each unknown, covered in living armor, their bodies shifting like smoke and steel. Not Zarvak, not from Earth. Another faction, a hidden one, a watcher race. Liam didn't wait. He activated every defense drone in the outpost, the air filled with buzzing shields and flickering blue lights. Nova raised her blade, but her hands shook. The pain from her body was growing. The child was pushing through, her mind split between war and life. The lead figure spoke without moving lips. "She's not just life. She's a codebreaker, a timeline splitter, a future no one agreed to." Liam stepped forward. "She's our daughter, not your experiment, not your fear." The enemy didn't reply. They attacked. Blades made of pure light, energy bolts from shifting arms, drone fire bursting like fireworks. Liam fought beside Nova, covering her flank, protecting her while she moved like a storm. Even in labor, she was faster than most soldiers, because now she wasn't fighting for survival. She was fighting for someone else, her child. A scream ripped from her throat again. Her knees buckled. Liam caught her, pulled her behind a force shield. "Nova, you can't keep this up. Let me finish this fight." She looked at him. "If I stop now, she dies. I die. You die." Then the ground shook. A blast wave threw Liam across the cave. The shield cracked. Nova crawled to him, her hand shaking, covered in dust and sweat and blood. "You okay?" He smiled weakly. "Nothing broken, just everything hurting." Suddenly the enemy stopped moving. They looked at her belly again, the light inside it pulsing brighter now. Faster. One of them whispered something in a language no machine could translate, and then they backed away, vanished, without a sound. Gun. Nova collapsed. "It's happening now, Liam, now." He grabbed the medkit, brought over the emergency cradle, activated the birthing protocols in his AI. The system blinked, warning. Mixed DNA detected. He ignored it. Nova screamed again, body glowing, her heart thudding like thunder. Outside, the stars changed color above them. The sky twisted. Something ancient was shifting, something watching a ripple through time, through space, through everything. Then silence, followed by a single cry, soft but clear. A child's first breath. Liam held her gently, carefully, tiny, small, but her eyes were already open, glowing, not blue, not gold, both. Nova looked up, barely able to move, her voice shaking. "Is she okay?" Liam knelt beside her. "She's not just okay, she's perfect." The child reached toward Nova, touched her chest, and Nova's wounds began to close. The baby had power, not destruction, not war. Healing hope. Liam held them both. "You did it, Nova. You brought something into this world that wasn't supposed to exist, and it's beautiful." Nova smiled weakly. She is the peace they were too afraid to imagine. But just as they breathed in that moment, a new transmission broke through. Different tone, different voice. This one Humana whisper. From deep space, unknown child detected. Origin point traced. All major governments alerted. Prepare for contact. Liam and Nova looked at each other. The battle was over, but the war was just beginning. The stars watched in silence. Nova held her daughter close. Skin still glowing, heart still racing, soul forever changed. Liam stood behind her, one hand on Nova's shoulder, the other on the child's back. The cave was quiet now, the echoes of battle gone, but peace was a lie, because Earth was awake and Earth was afraid. The moment the child cried, the moment her heartbeat touched the signal lines, hidden satellites across the system picked it up. She didn't just exist, she broadcasted life form never seen before, a blend of human compassion and alien precision. She was impossible, and impossible things make powerful people nervous. Governments whispered in back channels, fleets were put on standby, scanners pointed toward the cave from every moon base, every orbital ring, every buried bunker. One message repeated across all screens: secure the child. Some said protect, most meant control. Nova knew at the moment the first Earth warship entered Mars orbit. She watched it from the cave mouth, a long silver serpent against the red dust. They came in peace. They said that with calm voices and white flags, but their eyes told the truth. They didn't come to offer help, they came to take inside the cave. The baby had stopped glowing, she was resting, but Liam felt something else in the air, something colder. He looked at Nova. If they take her, they'll use her, they'll shape her into a weapon or lock her away. Nova nodded. They're no different from the Empire, they're just afraid of what they can't control, then we vanish. Liam said, leave the system, find another corner of space. Start over. Nova looked at the stars. You think the stars will leave us alone? He smiled. No, but maybe they'll understand. Just then a soft hum filled the cave, not from the Earth ships, from the child. She was floating, just a little, her eyes open again. No fear, no cry, just light. And in that moment, everyone saw it, every soldier on the warship, every commander watching from screens, every spy listening in the dark. The feed blinked. Image showed her not as a threat, but as something pure, a question they couldn't answer, a future they hadn't written. And then the child spoke, not with words, with thought, a single message pushed into the minds of everyone watching. I am not your weapon. I am not your warning, I am the bridge. The warship powered down. Silence, a silence full of understanding. Nova sat down slowly, held her daughter again. Liam exhaled for the first time in hours, but as peace returned, a darker truth surfaced, a signal buried deep under the child's message. Nova caught it. She tapped into it, a repeating phrase, faint, broken, clear enough to feel wrong. They're coming. They heard her. Liam heard it too. Who? Nova's face turned pale. Not Zarvik, not human, not Watcher. Her voice dropped. The ones before all of us. The ones who vanished from history. The ones who built the first stars. Liam stared at her. That's just myth. She shook her head. Not anymore. Far beyond the cave, beyond Mars, beyond the map of human and alien control, something stirred in the dark, massive, older than time, watching, waiting, listening, drawn by the child's voice. Back in the cave, Liam held Nova close, his other hand resting gently on their daughter's chest. Whatever comes next, we face it as a family. Nova smiled at him. As long as we stay together, I don't care what the stars send. The baby opened her eyes again, and for the first time she smiled.